Welcome to the Personal Finance and Coffee Podcast. I'm your host, Gabriela. On this podcast, we talk all things money and finances. Learning how to manage our money and make it grow is a skill that can be learned, that we can get better at. In our environments, money is kind of like a taboo topic. So on this podcast, let us have the conversations. Let us dig deep into how does this really work. We're going to have guests and learn from each other. I encourage you to listen and enjoy the podcast. Remember, you are the CEO of your money. No one else can manage the money for you. Hi, welcome to today's episode. And today we're talking about financial freedom. How can you attain it? Is it realistic in this country of ours, in this economy? That's what we're diving into today. In our previous episode, we talked about financial literacy, why it's important and how you can improve it. Once you're financially literate, once you now know, I think I can do better, then it's important to know where you're heading to. At the end of the day, the desire and the goal is to get to a place where you can work where you want to work, where you can work with the people that you want to work with, and to also work when you want to work. Financial freedom does not necessarily mean that you're there seated, chilling, and doing nothing the whole day. I think a person can get depressed, even though you have all the money. We are driven by purpose. We are driven by work. It has a purpose. When you get to a place where you have the money, you have the investments, you have enough money to cover your needs, and so you're in a position to choose the job that you want. You're in position to choose to work in a place that brings you joy. If remaining at your current place of employment is a choice that you want, you stay there because you choose to. Not because you have to. You get what I mean? And so you find that it's more fulfilling. You have more peace, more calm. You're not like, what if they don't pay the next salary? Then the salary delays by like a week or 2 weeks, and you are so stressed because people have to eat. The landlord stays. Maybe you have that landlord, guys, stay in the same fence, and on that day he comes knocking, asking for his rent. This is what financial freedom is, to reach a place where the money that you have, the investments that you've made, give you money to cover your basic needs, to cover even the luxuries, not only basic, but even a few luxuries. So you get to choose. Let me give an example so that this becomes clear, that becomes a bit more vivid and feels more attainable. Financial freedom doesn't mean you're a billionaire. You have a business that is bringing you so much money. Getting to a place where you know that if you had an emergency tomorrow, to a certain extent you can cover it. You're getting to a place where you know that you have an investment, assets, or something that brings in some money. It may not be enough to entirely cover your lifestyle, but you won't starve. Your children won't fail to go to school. It covers that. You will probably be able to take them out every now and then. The income that comes in, the savings that you have, are able to do that for you. That is my definition of financial freedom. When I was preparing for this episode, there's also the concept of having money that is invested. You calculate how much you spend in a year, and then you multiply it by 25. And that is how much money you're supposed to have invested in stocks, invested in bonds. That is the amount that you need to have invested in order for you to keep surviving on the interest that you will earn. When I did that math, it was a lot of money for me, and I could not imagine how I would get to that point of that kind of money right now. In due time, I will get there. So this episode, I'm looking at how do you jump out of the cycle? How do you jump out of the anxiety and have some breathing room where you can breathe cool? So the question is, how can you get out of this place of reactive mode? You're like reacting and constantly trying to figure out, you're barely breathing, whereby you know you can step aside and you know that for 1 month you can survive without it. And then you realign, you're like, I can't exactly stay at home forever, but I can choose what I want to do and when I want to do it so that I can earn. So that is how I look at financial freedom. And this is relative from person to person. Someone can say that, me, I don't want to just have only the basic needs. Maybe someone else will say that I would like to have a huge car and maybe have apartments that I own and bring in money. Perhaps I'm dreaming small, I don't know. But the concept of financial freedom, the whole idea is to get to a point where the money that you earn can cover your bills, can cover the luxuries you desire without you necessarily working. You only work because you choose to work where you enjoy the work. So, how do we get started working towards this? It feels like a dream, right? I'm not there yet. And knowing what it is and knowing how to work towards it really makes, in my mind, it feels so clear that I will get there at some point. In my mind, I feel like, just give me time, I will get there. So I'm sharing with you this episode so that you can have a glimpse into what it would look like to maybe be financially free on your terms. How do you define it for yourself? And so the first step on how you can get started working towards financial freedom is to decide if you want it, to decide what it looks like for you, to have clarity around it. Some people don't want it. Some people actually, they don't mind working till the age of retirement, get their retirement fund. There are people who don't mind it. And that's okay. There's no wrong or right answer in life. There's just an answer that works for you. So if that's you and you feel like, for me, I don't mind my job. I can keep working. I like the consistent flow of knowing that my salary will be paid on this day, things like that. If that is you and you don't mind it, that's okay. But if you are interested in venturing into this idea of, maybe I can actually try to get there. An observation that I made about financial freedom is that it does not take 1-2 years. No, this is a journey that takes 10 to 15 years, probably even more, depending on how it works out for an individual. 10 years feels like a lot of time, and you're like, all those. But the time is going to pass anyway. It will pass and you'll still be in the whole cycle, you'll still be in the rat race. And if you decide that I don't want to change anything, 10 years will pass and you'll be right here where you are. Or maybe not exactly the same spot, but you won't exactly be financially free by mistake. You have to choose and to work towards it. So that's the first step, gain clarity. Now, the second step, after you've decided that, okay, I want this, I'm going to do this. The second step is make a plan. How do you get from point A to point B? Point A being where you are today, your current income, your current expenses, your current net worth. How do you get from here to point B, which is the place of you're financially free? How do you get to point B, the place that you have a vision for as per the first step? Making a plan looks at 4 components overall. It looks at your income, the assets, expenses, and liabilities. So as you draft this, there are some questions you need to answer. Where is my income going to come from when I'm financially free? Will it come from the business? Will it come from commission? Will it come from agriculture? Will it come from real estate, online? Decide some places that the income will come from. They usually say that you need about 7 sources of income. Now, these many sources of income cannot be built overnight. That's why I told you that it takes almost like 10 to 15 years. But you work towards it consistently every day. So, as you're making the financial plan, look at where the money will come from. And then this is active income. So the question is, where will you put this money? Where will you invest it so that it brings you passive income? The kind of money that even when you sleep, it will still be making money for you. We have bonds, we have unit trusts, we have shares, we have being an investor into startups that are well structured and well designed. I'm waiting for that time where I go to bed and I check my bank account and like, hey, okay, this is how much I have. And then I wake up in the morning and I made sales, or I earned dividends, or I earned interest, and now my bank account has earned maybe like a 5 million or 10 million overnight. Getting to that point is not that I just slept and what. No, I have spent my solid 5 years or 10 building this income stream to get to the point where I go to bed with a certain amount of money and I wake up and it has increased by 10 or 5 million. So to have a plan and start building the income stream, start learning and start working towards getting to financial freedom. So make the financial plan. You can also go online, get the nitty-gritties, templates, all that. Just make a financial plan. It doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be too complicated. The question is, how do I move from point A to point B? Now, the third step is to work on your financial foundation, to set the foundation. The basics have to be done. Now, what are the basics? This is where you have writing down where you are, writing down your income. How much do you make? Writing down your expenses. Where does it go? You're creating a budgeting system. The next time you get money, do you already have a list of where that money is going to go, of what you're going to use it for? Or will it come and pass through your fingers? This financial foundation also involves having an emergency fund. It's not enough to just sonda money and then you buy a plot of land. And then tomorrow you have an emergency, you need to go to the hospital and you're not liquid, you don't have cash. At the end of the day, we don't spend assets, we spend cash. So building an emergency fund is part of having a financial foundation. This foundation is what makes it possible for you to now start pushing, to now get to a point of having your money start working for you. Pay off all your debts. This is another financial foundation. Debts take our money because they have interest. So you're literally working for the bank, or you're working for the circle. So if you can clear the debts, well and good. That is another financial foundation activity that you can clear. Create a runway. I was listening to something and they're saying that a runway is having 6 to 12 months of living expenses saved in cash. For example, if you found ourselves in another pandemic and you were at home for 12 months, for 6 months, do you have a runway of like you have money? You know that you can be in the house and you can survive for 1 year without earning again. If we had another pandemic, that's just an example. God forbid, those were hard times. So having the financial foundation set is the third step that you can have. Make the list and slowly work through them. You can't do this overnight. That's why this process of getting to the level of financial freedom takes 5, 10, 15 years. I'm on this journey with you. I am in the thick of it with you. And we are going to get there. We are going to be financially free. 1 day at a time, 1 paycheck at a time, 1 source of income at a time. We will get there. Now, the fourth step on this journey to financial freedom. Now, the fourth step on this journey is to focus on increasing your income. All the plans we have, everything that we do, the money has to first come into our bank account. We have to increase our earning capacity. All these passive income streams that I'm talking about, they are built with active income and income. How can you create a side hustle that will bring you more income? Maybe how can you change jobs where now you're in a company that has the potential to have a promotion so that you earn more money? How can you offer a service? How can you offer a product that people need and you add value? Increasing the earning capacity is essential on this journey of financial freedom. Start a business. Choose something that you feel passionate about and that actually makes money. That is the fourth step. Increase your earning capacity. Once you increase your earning capacity, then you'll be able to fund the financial plan. Then you will be able to fund the financial foundations that I talked about. Now you may be asking yourself, but Kabi, why are you now talking about this here on step number 4? Ideally, it should have been like number 1, because that's where we all are. Our first plan to financial freedom is to make the money. You wake up in the morning and you're like, we are looking for money today. The reason why I put it as step number 4 is because if you don't know why you're working towards financial freedom, if you have not made the plan, and if you have not set the financial foundation list that you're working towards, you will start with number 4. You will make that money and the money will go. No lie. The money will go properly because you have not clarified where you want the money to go to. You have not clarified how you want it to help you achieve your dreams. So that is why I'm putting it as step number 4. Not because it's less important, No. But being clear on what you're working towards gives the income that you then make purpose and direction. So that's the fourth step. As you go through this journey, the point is not to deprive all other areas of your life. It does not mean put your social life on pause, put your family life on pause, put your hobbies on pause. That is not the point of going through all this. It doesn't mean you'll stop having a life. Having an all-round life is what makes us happy, is what makes us joyful. And for us to have an all-round life, the truth is we need to plan it, we need to be intentional. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Thank you so much for listening, and have a lovely day. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I hope you found value in it. Please subscribe to this podcast on whichever platform you're listening to it on, so that the next time we have new episodes, you're able to be notified. Share with a friend, share with a loved one, so that you can start these conversations about money. At the end of the day, you are the CEO of your money. No one else can manage the money for you.